Okay, now I'm filming again because it clunked out on me for some reason. Okay, after a certain amount of time, my thing turns off. So, continuing on the idea I was saying on my other video, for job resumes to be first, but job applications after employment and interviews, so not to be redundant. I think there should just be resume cards too. You could just scan, so you don't have to keep filling out applications a million times. Or you could just scan your fingerprint or something, and it could tell you them all about you. Wouldn't that be great and easier? Or at least where you only fill out a job application after you do an interview, so you don't have to keep filling it out for a million different places that don't even hire you anyway. Okay, that's what that was saying. Okay. So, like, they only make you fill all stuff after they hire you and interview you. So, it's actually having a point, and they don't just throw it out or whatever. And it's all in vain, but they're so impersonal. Like, can't even, like, interview anybody. They're just like, oh, fill out an application. I'm referring you to someone else. I can't deal with any of you. I don't even act like I work here, even though I do. You know, I just don't like that. The impersonalness of it, how it is. I mean, I guess they don't have time sometimes, but it just seems like they just don't care sometimes. They're always referring you to somebody else. Nothing ever progresses sometimes when it's that way. Like, people aren't even doing their job. Can't they just do the job, interview people, and hire people? And I don't know. And I don't know how companies can say they want 10 years experience for like every job. It's like, I guess for safety, that's good for some jobs, but I think some jobs more often should do things like internships, but maybe they already do. Or there could be like something like job training centers at jobs where it has like a little testing area where you get trained to do jobs instead of having to get all these degrees. For some jobs, you probably could do that instead of a degree. I mean, only some jobs for safety should you really need to get a degree, because like if you're going to do some job that it would be unsafe to do, that you can't be trained in a short while of time, then I would say, yeah, it's better not to do it that way. But you could have a training center at all the different jobs. You can have a training center that teaches you that has a test area where it won't affect the regular work area of the company. You could just have a little test work area where you train people to do the job, so they don't have to waste 5 years to get a degree doing it. If it's something that's relatively easy to be trained in, why do we have to waste so much time and money getting a degree in it then? Because some things you could probably just be trained to do without all this drama of 5 years school to do it, you know, and 10 years experience and all this. Because don't companies like go out of business because they can't find anybody who has 10 years experience? I mean, does it really work to demand 10 years experience all the time? I mean, how do you even find workers that way? Because only so many people have degrees, only so many people have 10 years experience. Wouldn't it be really hard to find workers if you're too strict? You should have job training centers at your place of work that are separate areas from the regular workforce, so these people that are getting trained won't interfere with the regular job going on. But they'll get trained, and then they won't have to have 10 years experience, and they won't have to get degrees. And I'm not saying this for jobs where you really, for safety, should get a degree, like, you know, airplane pilot or surgeon or something. I'm saying for easy jobs that needlessly put people through years of school in excess of paying money when it's really not necessary, like doing nails or something. They make you study a huge anatomy book, memorizing body parts and everything like I've done. And it's needless. Just to do nails, it's not. It's a big scam. The education for jobs like that are a big scam. And then they flunk you at the end of the course on purpose, and they said, oh, I accidentally told you the wrong information. And they looked all devious, and they flunked me on purpose. And they were like, oh, I guess you have to go to school again to spend more money on this scam in the first place. So that's why I'm not for the school system sometimes, in some cases, if it's for stupid things. And real estate, there is a lot to learn for real estate, but they have a huge book. They might make it excessively complicated just to get money out of you, because there's so many things that you need money for to do a real estate job. It's not even funny. It's like, I think they make some things more difficult and more about money than it has to be, when they could just not scam you and they could just make it possible to get people into the workforce. Millions of people unemployed, and they're doing all this drama stuff to hinder people when they should be helping people make it easier, not make it harder. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that makes it hard for people to get a career. All this complicated big books on something that's probably not even that complicated to do. Selling houses really isn't that complicated. It has to have like a huge book just to do that. I don't know. It just seems like they make it harder, and they make it all about money when they could just be helping people get into the workforce with like job training centers that are at the actual company that they're getting trained for, and make it easy for people and not make it all demandingly complicated and hindersome. Because that's why there's a huge unemployment rate, and the economy would be better if people weren't hindered from getting a job, because of all this hindering them, making them pay out all this money for education and all this extra real estate garbo, mumbo jumbo or whatever it is. I don't know. That's why I am unemployed and on welfare forever, because they do not make it possible to even do a career sometimes. And how do you even get a degree anyway? And some towns don't even have any jobs, and then the mortgages they make it so you can't ever move anywhere else that has jobs, so to pay off the mortgage. They make it impossible. And so they wind up inheriting a house that probably winds up being abandoned because they didn't do what the Bible said to do, which is to drop debts every 7 years, which would include mortgages, so people, not to oppress people and hinder them from moving where they can actually make money and get out of this whole oppression system. It's like, and jobs make it where people have to work too long, and they get divorces because of it, because they don't have any time to spend with their family. They should only work half the year and have breaks all throughout the year that equal half the year, half the time off, and still get paid enough to live on. But they shouldn't be like where they are now, how they are now, slaves, because God wanted to save us from slavery. That's why in the Bible story that nobody apparently remembers, because none of these jobs, they're all living like unbelievers, like Egyptians from the olden days, slaving people, where they force them to work full time and not have any time for the family and friends. So nobody has any friends or family. Everybody's divorced, and they just live in sin and have alimony children and illegitimate children and everything. And that's why it's a big mess, because people don't have enough time off. They don't have time to develop relationships, so they just marry anybody. They rush into things. They sin and everything because of this. Because the one problem of people not... Anyway, one problem causes another. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying if things were better in certain ways, it wouldn't be causing all these other problems. And it would help the workforces too, because if people, I don't know, for instance, businesses that make people work on Sunday, it might jinx their business, because the Bible says, I will turn to ruins anybody who doesn't keep the Sabbath. So if you hinder people from keeping the Sabbath, if your company hinders people from keeping the Sabbath, it might turn your business to ruins, right? It might make you go out of business. That's what I thought. I thought, oh, that might affect businesses. Maybe that's why a lot of businesses go out, because they seem kind of cursed or something. Maybe that's why. I just thought, I don't know. Because, and a lot of, the banks or the mortgage people seem kind of cursed too. They inherit all these abandoned houses that they have to pay taxes on and stuff, because they're mortgage houses that are foreclosed and they can't even sell them. They have so many of them probably. And so they wind up losing money because they have to pay all the taxes on them, and they get stuck with them. They're like a curse, because they didn't do what the Bible said and drop debts every 7 years. Then God would repay and bless people for dropping the debts of these poor people that can't even pay you anyway. And so, but God can repay you a lot more. So I think sometimes that's why people are cursed. I don't know. because like we're not being careful enough to do things the way that works better. But well, idea calendar can have a message of Jesus with either a praiseworthy thing from his messages book, lesser known, and or a live by, pray for, or a thing to do's or be happy ofs for each day. Well, anyway, I was just thinking, the messages of Jesus books that I read sometimes, they have so many good things that you could live out, and you can also, they say so many things that you could pray for, and I thought it'd be cool like to have it where you write one on your calendar each day to like live by or to pray for. They give you all these good things to pray for, these messages books. You could write one thing a day or one thing a week that you could pray for, or you could live out. I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I thought of doing it. I thought that would be a cool idea. Because it's so hard to remember all these things unless you like put it into a song, or unless you put it into poetry, or unless you put it into some form, you put it on your calendar to live by it or to pray about it. Because there's so many good points in these messages books of Jesus and Mary and God. It's hard to remember them all unless you somehow try to live it out or something. And I noticed when I put some of the messages in songs, that helped me to memorize some of the prayers. And when I put it in poetry and stuff. So that's what helped me to memorize it. And then I'm able to use it all the time. Like I pray like the conversion prayer for people all the time, or I pray like the 1,000 soul prayer for people all the time. Like those are really the best prayers I've ever found ever. So I recommend those to people. The 1,000 soul prayer goes like this: Eternal Father, I offer thee the most precious blood of thy divine Son, Jesus, in union with masses said throughout the world today, for all holy souls in purgatory, for sinners everywhere, those in the universal church, in my home and my family, amen. And that is to help get 1,000 souls out of purgatory, that Jesus said to pray. And then it probably helps people that are alive too, sinners too, I'm not sure. And then and I pray that for like, when I'm listening to ghost stories or something, and they say like there's 100 ghosts at this place, I pray that prayer to cover some of them. If they're stuck ghosts or something, or criminals, documentaries I watch or something, when I'm trying to look for people to pray for, I pray some of these prayers. And also the prayer of, O blood and water, which gush forth from the heart of Jesus out of the fountain, mercy for us, I trust in you. That's a good prayer to pray for somebody's conversion. And Jesus says he will grant the grace of conversion to whoever you pray that on behalf of some sinner or anybody. But he says some sinner. And I memorized those, and those are the best prayers ever, I think. Jesus actually said to pray those. And they come with the promise that he will actually help save that person's soul if you pray that conversion prayer for them. Or if you pray this other prayer to help 1,000 souls get out for people that are like ghosts or stuck in purgatory or whatever, to help them. So, ideas concerning asylum seekers. Why would so many even want to go to USA? If USA has highest crime or if USA has highest divorce rate and bad historical origins, like most USA is from, it's from unbeliever countries, or it's from like Nazi or voodoo and different things. Like, why would you want to go to a country like that? Like, these people must be from unbeliever countries too if they want to. Non-Christian bad luck countries, and because some people still seem kind of haunted by the Nazi stuff. They're like into bullying. Like in every show there's like people bullying and all these crime shows. It's like, can't we just get past our bad history? I know we come from non-Christian backgrounds or whatever bad backgrounds, and it's like we're still like revenging, and I don't know, it's just sad. We're haunted by our past, our bad past. Or like if we're like British, we come from a bad background of ghosts and everything, so we're like, I don't know, then everybody around us acts like ghosts and passes us by, and we never meet anybody, and I don't know, that's from my experience. I mean, I'm haunted by my bad ancestry too. We're just haunted by our bad ancestry sometimes. I don't know, I get depressed about it. I'm like, I wish I could marry into a different culture and become something on the wavelength of something else sometimes. And it just seems like people are mean to me sometimes, that they remind me of a grumpy Nazi or something. I'm like, no, I must be haunted by I had bad Nazi people in my past. And you know how the Bible says you're punished for fourth generations? I might be the fourth generation. You're punished for having wicked relatives in your ancestry, That's what I feel like sometimes. It's really sad. I don't know what I'm even talking about at this point. Let me see. And struggling with backgrounds and with whatever, and let's see, what does this say? They should go to well, I don't know, I just think people should go to a different culture, maybe, if they're struggling with whatever culture they are now, or they shouldn't go to another culture that's struggling even worse. Let's see. Nowhere is better unless they are something fake, something, or whatever. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what I was saying on that. Oh well. I was just saying it's too bad we're haunted by our bad ancestry. But we could pray about it. I prayed that people aren't haunted by their bad ancestry before. Because sometimes it seems like we are. It's really hard to get past it, too. Okay, anyway. I don't know if that's relevant. Okay. Law idea. If judged innocent, those arrested shouldn't by law pay for lawyers. Cops association should for their mistake, unless lawyers are sometimes free in those cases anyway, cause should be. Okay, book that tells and preserves things childhood games maybe not told about yet, like get to know you games at church, youth groups they play as kids in different era dances, tells of these things for nostalgia games and dances preserving book. If not, get much anywhere else. Yeah, like on that other thought, I just felt sorry for some foreigners saying, oh, they want to come to America, the dreamland. And I'm like, do you realize America's on the highest crime rate list? I just felt sorry for people deluding themselves, thinking some countries were like better than their country. I mean, sure, maybe some people are coming from like a warring country, but this country is also like a bunch of gangster ghettos and grumpy Nazi background people that are all making crime shows and everything. It's not like that perfect, is all I'm saying. It's like the grass is greener on the other side, but not really. I just felt sorry for people that are like all innocently thinking it's going to be better. Like I wanted to move to like different. I always thought moving to a different part of America would help and be better, but like I'd always be afraid of when I look up pictures of America. Even though I live in America, I thought, oh, if I just move to a different state, a different part of America, it'll be better. But then I'd look up pictures of America, and it's like it shows me pictures of natural disasters and gangster ghetto scenes and stuff of people fighting and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm scared of America. It made me want to go to a different country. I'm like, nah. But like, I don't know if that would be good either, but whatever. Ideas. New kind of something that go off automatic. Oh yeah, new kind of stoves that go off automatically if press them. You know, like how toaster ovens go off automatically, and it's for safety. It's really good, right? Like you just time it for a certain amount of minutes, and it goes off automatically. Unlike stoves, which are very unsafe, and they just stay on, and they only have a stupid timer that I can't even figure out how to work it. I just think for safety, they should automatically go off after a certain amount of time too, right? Like it would be better. But oh well. Or at least have one dial where it could be that way, and their other dials could be the timer way, whichever, but... Okay, or new kind of microwave toaster oven with no radiation. Yeah, because... and that actually cooks faster and doesn't take out nutrients. Because, like, an alternative microwave oven that cooks like a regular oven but doesn't take forever and doesn't take out vitamins like the microwave might, and might not radiate radiation like the microwave might. There should be a new kind of stove invented, right? That would be all that stuff, be all those things. I think people should have citizenship to whatever country they're most dominantly DNA related to, because then they might fit in there better. Like, although some of us are mutts and we're so many different things, I don't know, like for instance, where I would even fit in. I'm so many different things. And sometimes you do need a change. Sometimes you get too recessively gened if you're too involved with the same stuff too much. So in a way, I wish you could immigrate more freely. Because like if people keep marrying into the same culture too much, it's like they don't become as flexible or as able to see a lot of different countries' viewpoints. But for instance, sometimes, like me, like I come from an ancestry of so many different cultures, it's almost like I don't connect with any of the cultures completely because I connect with all of them just a little bit, but I don't connect with any of them dominantly because I'm not any of them dominantly. I'm almost too many things, so it could have the opposite problem too, so I don't know. My relatives must have liked moving around a lot or something, so I don't know. Ideas. If someone made alternative to beer and other alcohol liquors, like in olden days, and or new varieties of ingredients mixed with light amounts of alcohol, like healthy herbs, or for variety, other spices, or etc. Because I was looking into the origins of that, and they had all kinds of different, like, other kinds of that when in the olden days, like mandrake or whatever, I don't know, all kinds of different, like, it was more variety than it is now. Now it's just hops, that's all. Or wine or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe there is some variety, I'm not really sure, but. Idea. Cameras that can record just audio clips by self and upload online, so can add separately to movie, music, video clips, putting together on software like with Movie Maker, etc. Yeah, because I just wish there was a feature on cameras that would allow you to just record audio, an audio clip that would be able to be put online, the Windows Movie Maker, so you could make so you can add it to your video footage separately and make a music video. Because they don't have that feature now, I don't think. But that would be a cool feature to have. Business idea. Amusement center with unique games like Mario Party games, except real areas to play. For example, like the game with blocks that can move up and down, and if stay on block without touching water or light, activating or whatever, where stays on wins. What does that say? Okay. I'm not sure what that is. Usually I like to kind of decipher what this is, but I can't figure out what this one was. Maybe I meant like places where, you know, like those TV shows where they had obstacle courses and stuff. Maybe I meant like obstacle course type places. That would be kind of fun, like obstacle course type places. Like TV shows have, but they don't have actual. Maybe they would be unsafe though. I don't know. I'm not sure, but they would be fun if they were made to be safe and stuff. Okay, ideas. For something safety can go over falls. Oh yeah, like, you know, waterfalls, they should have like metal bars, especially if it's near tubing type areas, rafting areas. They should have metal bars for people's safety in case they do start going over the falls, like they don't see the get out sign when they're tubing down the river. They should have, cause in my area they have like, it's kind of my area, it's kind of a ways, but it has this river, you know, and you could tube down and it has a sign, get out. you have to get out now or something. And I wonder if you kept going, because I saw some people keep going. I wonder if that's dangerous. Did they go over the waterfall or something? I don't know. I don't know if there's a waterfall, but I'm just like, for safety, they should have metal bars. So you can't go over the waterfalls, right? Just for safety, because I heard some people have by accident. They didn't get out at the get out point or whatever. Just in the water, bars for safety that stops you from going any farther. And they should have those on canals too, bars, so people can't go in those canals and drown or whatever. Well, it's just things, this is just stuff I think about, sometimes. I'm just like, oh, there should be this, there should be that for safety or for health or different things, I don't know. So I'm just sharing my ideas. And I make sure to write them all down, of course, because look, I have, I just get a few ideas here and there over the years, and they kind of built up, and I try to put them on videos at least, because I didn't publish a book or anything with them, so. Idea, health tip for teeth rinsing with water after acidic, like fruit juices, and surprising, after carbonation, because carbonation is acidic. I didn't even believe this at first, that carbonation is even bad for the teeth. It's good to rinse your teeth even after carbonated water or carbonated fruit juice, just any fruit juices, anything acidic, because just rinse your water after, because it's just better, for the teeth. I didn't even believe carbonation was acidic. I thought it was like the sugar in the carbonation that would be bad, but no, it's the actual, acidic, even in plain carbonated water. Let's see what else. I kind of write crazy sometimes. I write it all over the whole. I have to be this. Okay. Oh yeah, and also I thought, I really hate the smell of cheese sometimes. It's just oh, you have to wash your hands and your face and everything after it. Repeatedly. It just smells like a farm or something. It smells bad. I think farmers should, for sanitary safety, make sure they wash down their cows more, because I think the germs from their standing in their poop and everything is maybe crawling up to affect maybe even the quality of the cheese and the milk. I don't know. Because after smell of cheese smells disgusting like dirty farm poop, so I think that might not be healthy. So to let cows stand on their poop, it may get on their legs and germs crawl up into udders or make them sick or germy to eat their meat even, who knows, seems like. So farms should have drains with screens that water can go, so can wash them down with disinfectant and their or water at least, and they're in their areas, if they are areas they stand and poop, and let free at least be this way. Free roam in grass areas too for exercise health, as well if can. When they are washable, can wash the poop down drain. So they have toilets, at least, very unsanitary for meat and cheeses, I would think, and taste of cheeses to contaminate the taste of cheese. Elsewise, the cheese has poop aftertaste. I always have to wash my hands and face after cheese products. They smell so bad. It's so contaminated. Really should be higher standards for health and safety. Well, that was just a thought, because it just, some of these little things, I know they're kind of weird to talk about, but they're good to kind of bring to attention, because maybe people take for granted some of this stuff. I don't know. It's important for health, for safety of food, though. There should be public safety laws, more. I don't know if there's much regulation on public safety in general, but a lot of things are unsafe, and I'm There should be more public safety laws that things should be safe, I don't know. But there probably is to some degree, but there just obviously isn't completely if cheese tastes like poop, but whatever. Okay. Idea: could have a plastic covering attached to floor for security and dust protection, and hosts putting games in out optional so kids won't mess up loose stuff